Hey everyone, and welcome. It often feels like we're stuck in a world with only two options, two opposing camps. Today, we're going to look at a political philosophy that just completely throws that idea out the window. We're diving into a third way that tries to blend the best of both the left and the right. I mean, if you're one of the millions of independent voters out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That frustration of being caught in the middle. It feels like you have to pick a team, even if you don't really agree with their entire playbook. And all that gridlock, it just makes it seem like nothing important ever gets done. But what if there's another way to look at all this? A philosophy that says, hey, maybe neither the left nor the right has a monopoly on good ideas, especially when it comes to defending our rights. It's an approach that aims to be, as one former presidential candidate put it, more socially liberal than the Democrats and more fiscally conservative than the Republicans. Okay, let's get into it. At the core of this third way is libertarianism. And the central idea is actually pretty simple, but it's powerful. Maximize individual liberty. This whole philosophy is built on the idea that you have the right to live your life however you see fit, as long as you're not hurting anyone else or taking away their right to do the same. So the government's job, it's really limited. Just protect those rights, and that's it. Now, to really see how this plays out, we're doing something a little different. We've set up a debate between two AI personas. You've got Lumen, who's going to argue from a modern liberal perspective, and Axel, who will be taking the conservative side. Their debate is really going to help us understand where this third way finds its synthesis. All right, first up, the classic debate over personal freedom. What is the government's role in our private lives? Should it be about protecting us, or should it be all about personal responsibility? Let's see. So Lumen argues that a good, compassionate government needs to step in sometimes, create regulations and safety nets to protect people and make sure society is fair for everybody. But Axel, he comes back and says, no way. The government has no business getting involved in our personal choices. For him, true freedom means you take full responsibility for your life, the good and the bad. So how do you possibly bridge that gap? Well, the synthesis is right here, in this powerful line from the Liberation Party platform. It champions the freedom to choose, something both sides value, but it ties it directly, no compromises, to personal responsibility. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this philosophy leads to policies that can appeal to both sides. It means decriminalizing victimless crimes. That's a huge goal for justice reformers on the left. It also means ending government spying, which protects privacy for absolutely everyone. And then, it fiercely defends free speech and the idea that you own your own body, echoing those classic calls for personal liberty from the right. Okay, now let's see how that same principle works when we apply it to the other huge debate, the economy. Should the government be managing things for the public good, or should we just let the free market do its thing? On this one, Lumen argues that, yeah, the government needs to intervene sometimes, to make sure the playing field is level, to manage trade, to provide safety nets like Social Security. Axel, though, is all about the free market. He believes it's the best, most efficient way to create prosperity. His solution is simple. Cut spending, slash taxes, and get out of the way. And here we go again. You see the synthesis. The Liberation Party platform calls for a really limited government role. The whole idea isn't to manage the economy. It's just to be a referee, protect property, settle fights, and make sure that people can trade freely and fairly with each other.
Now, the policies that come from this, well, they're consistent, but to a lot of people, they sound pretty radical. We're talking about ending all corporate welfare, bailouts, and subsidies, phasing out government-run social programs, and instead encouraging private, voluntary charity, and eventually, even getting rid of the income tax and the IRS. It's a vision of pure fiscal conservatism married to total economic freedom.
So it's easy to hear all this and just think, okay, that's way out there, that's French. But is it really? Or are these ideas actually tapping into what a lot of Americans are feeling, being so tired of the way things are? The data might actually surprise you. Because when you look at the issues one by one, a completely different picture starts to form. Polls show that huge majorities of Americans already agree with these poor positions. I mean, look at this. A whopping 71% support marriage equality. 68% want to end marijuana prohibition. And you've got clear majorities who want to stop mass surveillance, pull back from foreign interventions, and lower government spending. These are not fringe ideas at all. They actually represent this broad agreement that cuts right across the old party lines. So this is all great in theory, but how does it actually work in the real world? How does this philosophy create solutions that could break the gridlock we're all so tired of? Well, the goal isn't just a new theory. It's about finding real, actionable policies that get the left and right on the same page. Let's look at two big examples. First, ending the federal war on drugs. For liberals, this is a huge win for criminal justice reform. It means ending federal prosecutions and tackling a system that has unfairly hurt minority communities. For conservatives, this is a victory for states' rights, letting each state decide its own policies without Washington breathing down its neck. And for everybody, it promises huge savings in taxpayer money. It's a win-win-win. And second, a non-interventionist foreign policy. This is another idea that brings people together. It appeals to anti-war liberals and fiscal conservatives who both want to stop spending billions policing the world. It reassures traditional conservatives by keeping a strong military, but one that's focused only on defending our country. And it pushes for peace and prosperity through free trade, a goal that almost everyone can get behind.
So as we wrap up, it really makes you wonder, right? What if the answer to all our political division isn't about choosing a side, but about choosing a principle of individual liberty that puts power back in the hands of people, not governments, one that offers a real path to compromise and actually reflects where a lot of Americans already are? What if the solution has been right in front of us all along? It's something to think about.